I could still hear the laughter of my family as we got out of the car, the automatic doors of the airport sliding open in front of us. The smell of coffee and the noise of busy travelers filled the air. But I was focused on one thing, the boarding passes my dad held in his hand. Our long-awaited family vacation was finally happening. At least that's what I thought. "Alex, get the luggage," my mom said, already taking out her phone to snap pictures. "Don't forget your passport this time." I rolled my eyes and lifted my suitcase onto the trolley, ignoring the teasing. My younger brother, Ethan, was stuck to his phone, hardly noticing me as I made my way through the crowd. We got to the check-in counter, and my dad handed over the tickets with a smile, his eyes showing something I couldn't quite understand. The airline worker scanned each ticket, her fingers moving quickly over the keyboard. Then she frowned, looking up at me. "Sir, I don't see your ticket in our system." I blinked. "What do you mean?" "My ticket should be with the rest of my family's. We booked together." She checked again. "I'm sorry, but your ticket was canceled 2 days ago. There's no seat saved under your name." I felt a twist in my stomach. That has to be a mistake. "Check again." My mom let out a laugh, and I turned to see her and Ethan smiling at their phones. My dad, trying and failing to hide his laughter, patted me on the back. "Guess you're not coming, son." "What?" My voice came out rough. My phone buzzed. "A message from Dad. The plane's not for you." "Go on a train holiday, loser." Ethan burst out laughing. "Man, you should see your face." Classic. I stared at them, the weight of their betrayal hitting me. This wasn't just a harmless prank. They had actually canceled my ticket. While I worked extra hours for months helping pay for this vacation, they had plotted behind my back. "You're joking, right?" My voice was barely above a whisper. Mom smirked. "We thought it would be funny. You always take things too seriously. You canceled my ticket as a joke." My hands tightened into fists. "I paid for this trip. I covered the upgrades, the hotel, the rental car, and you, oh, don't be so dramatic." Dad cut in, grabbing his carry-on. "You work all the time anyway. Thought you might enjoy a little station." A slow burn of anger built in my chest. "You knew how much I needed this break." "I've been paying your bills, Ethan's tuition." "You'll be fine," Ethan muttered, already turning back to his phone. "Chill out." "Chill out?" I scoffed, shaking my head. "You've got to be kidding me." But they weren't. My family, my own flesh and blood, was leaving me behind like forgotten luggage, laughing as they headed toward security. Dad threw a casual wave over his shoulder. "See you in a week. Don't burn the house down." I stood frozen as they disappeared into the crowd, their laughter echoing in my ears. My mind raced. This was no innocent prank. It was a message, a cruel, humiliating show of how little they valued me. Slowly, my anger hardened into something sharp and clear. If they thought I was nothing more than a cash machine, they were about to learn the price of their betrayal. The moment I walked back into my apartment, I closed the door and leaned against it, breathing out slowly. The pain of betrayal at the airport still hurt in my chest. Their mocking message played over and over in my mind. My own family had treated me like a joke, despite everything I had done for them. A funny prank, they had called it, but I wasn't laughing. Taking out my laptop, I logged into my banking app and looked at the long list of recurring payments. My brother's tuition fees, my father's golf club membership, my mother's beauty salon expenses. Then there was the emergency fund, a separate account they often used under the excuse of unexpected costs. My fingers hovered over the keyboard. For years, they had lived well thanks to me. I had never once complained. I had worked hard to provide for them, making sure they never had to worry about bills, never had to limit their luxuries. And how had they thanked me? By embarrassing me at an airport and leaving me stranded. My jaw tightened. No more. The first cancellation was my brother's tuition payment. It was due in a week. I clicked on the cancel button and confirmed it with a deep feeling of satisfaction. Next, I moved to my father's golf club fees. I imagined his anger when he realized he could no longer walk onto the green, bragging about his so-called achievements while I paid the bill. Canceled. My mother's salon fees gone. The emergency fund locked. I changed the password and blocked their access completely. It took less than 10 minutes to undo years of financial dependence. My phone buzzed. A message from my mom. "We just arrived. The beach is amazing. Hope you're not too upset, honey. It was just a joke. Love you." I laughed bitterly. A joke? A joke would have been pretending for a few seconds, not actually canceling my ticket and abandoning me. I turned off my phone and put it aside. Let them enjoy their vacation. They had no idea what was coming. As I made myself a late dinner, a sense of calm came over me. For the first time in years, I didn't feel like a walking wallet. I felt like a person taking back control of his own life. My family was about to learn a tough lesson, one they would never forget. The first message came from my brother. "Hey, Alex, my tuition payment is due. Can you send it over?" His tone was casual, as if nothing had happened. As if they hadn't left me humiliated at the airport while they flew off on a vacation. "I helped pay for." I smiled at the nerve. "Oh, I think you should ask Mom and Dad," I replied, keeping my tone light. After all, they're the ones in charge of everything, right? He didn't answer right away. A few hours later, my mother messaged me. "Alex, honey, I need you to send the usual for the salon rent. The payment is late." You wouldn't want your mother to be embarrassed, would you? I could almost hear the fake sweetness in her voice. They really thought I was just going to go back to being the family's personal. ATM without question. I typed back, "Sorry, Mom, I'm taking a break from paying for things. Maybe try booking an appointment at a cheaper salon. Or better yet, ask Dad." Then came the inevitable call from my father. The moment I answered, he was already shouting, "Alex, what the hell is this nonsense?" The golf club fees bounced. I got an email saying the payment was declined. "Are you seriously not covering it this month?" I leaned back in my chair, letting out a short laugh. "Oh, you mean your golf club membership? The one you made fun of me for never using?" "Yeah, I canceled that. Figured you could afford it yourself. Or maybe take a train to a public park instead." There was a pause before he exploded. "Don't be ridiculous. You've always covered it. What kind of son refuses to help his own family?" I felt my jaw tighten. The kind of son whose family thought it was funny to cancel his flight and leave him stranded like a joke. The silence on the other end stretched. Then he scoffed. "You're overreacting. It was just a joke. Now stop this nonsense and send the money." "Not happening," I said firmly. "Maybe you should budget better or cut back on those expensive vacations." I hung up before he could reply. For the first time, I felt something close to satisfaction. They had relied on me for years without a second thought, assuming my money would always be there to support their lifestyle. But now reality was setting in and they were beginning to squirm. Over the next few days, their messages became more desperate. My brother tried calling 3 more times, each one more urgent. My mother sent a long-winded text about how family supports each other, conveniently forgetting how they had treated me. My father predictably switched between anger and guilt-tripping, neither of which worked. And then the final breaking point, I received a message from my mother, saying, "Alex, we're coming home early. We need to talk." I smiled to myself. Let them come. This time I was ready. The moment my parents walked through the front door, the air turned heavy. My father tossed his suitcase aside, his face twisted in frustration. My mother followed, her sunglasses still on top of her head, though her vacation glow had faded. They didn't greet me. They didn't need to. Their expression said everything. "How dare you?" my father growled, his voice filled with disbelief. "You canceled everything? My golf membership, your mother's salon, and your brother's tuition." I leaned back in my chair, arms crossed. "That's right. Thought it was funny to leave me stranded at the airport. Well, I'm just returning the favor." My mother's lips parted, but no words came. My brother Ethan wasn't as quiet. He stepped forward, desperation replacing his usual arrogance. "Alex, come on. My tuition is due. I can't get kicked out of school." I let out a cold laugh. Not my problem. Maybe Mom and Dad should have thought of that before playing their little prank. My father slammed his palm against the table. "We're your family. We raised you. You owe us." I stood looking him in the eyes. "Number, I don't. You took my money for granted, treated me like a walking ATM, and humiliated me. Well, congratulations. Now you're on your own." A tense silence filled the room. My mother finally spoke, voice shaking. "It was just a joke, honey," I scoffed. "And this is just a lesson." I walked past them, grabbing my keys. As I reached the door, I turned back. "Good luck figuring things out, losers." Then I left, leaving them to deal with the consequences of their own betrayal. Days passed, and the silence from my family was deafening. Then one evening, my phone buzzed nonstop. Missed calls, desperate messages. My parents' bank account had hit 0. Bills were piling up, and reality had finally sunk in. I ignored the first few, but then a video call came through. I answered, and my mother's face appeared. Her usual confidence replaced by tear-streaked exhaustion. "Alex, please," she whispered. "We need your help. We didn't realize how much we depended on you." My father appeared behind her, his pride visibly crushed. "Look, son," he said, forcing the words out. "We made a mistake, but punishing us like this, it's too much." I leaned back, studying their desperation. "Funny," I said. "You didn't think leaving me stranded was too much. But now that the joke's on you, it's different." Ethan's voice came from off-screen. "Alex, I'll get kicked out of school. Please, just help with tuition." I exhaled slowly, letting the weight of the moment settle. Then I gave them the answer they feared. No. Their faces crumbled. My mother sobbed. My father's head dropped. Ethan cursed under his breath. But I felt nothing. Not guilt, not regret, just peace. "I'm done being used," I said. "Figure it out yourselves." And with that, I ended the call, closing the final chapter of their control over me.